Welcome friends, welcome back to the kitchen. Today I'm going to do a fairly simple one-pan dinner dish, sausage and orzo. So into this pan, I'm going to put it on sort of medium-high heat and I'm going to hit it with a little bit of olive oil. Just going to heat that up first. If you don't know what orzo is, it's a pasta that has a shape kind of like rice. Very interesting little pasta. And you'll sometimes see it in recipes where it is treated just like if you were cooking risotto or rice. So that's hot. I'm going to put in some hot Italian sausage that I've sliced up. You could turn these into little meatballs if you wanted to. The idea is that you do want little forkfuls of meat. So in that goes, and I'm just going to cook that until it's browned off a little on the outside. Okay, that's pretty good. You don't need to cook them all the way through because they are going to cook for probably 20 minutes under cover. Next in, I'm going to add one sliced onion, sliced fairly thin, and a bell pepper. And we'll just continue frying that until the onion has softened. At this point, the onion has softened and it's translucent. It hasn't really gained any color yet. You don't want it to start to brown. At this point, we're going to add in the orzo, and we're going to stir it around and completely coat it with any oil that's in the pan and some of the flavors from the sausage and the onion. Part of the idea is that you want to toast the orzo a little bit, just like you would toast a rice in this situation if you were making a risotto or a basmati rice for a pilaf or something like that. And that doesn't take very long at all. Make sure you continue to stir it. You don't want it to burn to the bottom, stick to the bottom. Look at that fond that we've built up there. That's going to be great flavor. Okay, now I'm going to add in some chicken stock, red pepper flakes, some paprika, and a couple of cloves of garlic. And we're just going to stir that in to combine it, get it everywhere, bring this up to a boil. And as this comes up to a simmer, I'm also going to add some stewed tomatoes. Now you could use a can of any kind of stewed or chopped tomatoes. These are our home canned tomatoes. I'm going to pop that in. And when I stew the tomatoes, they're stewed with onions and celery and salt and pepper and some other spices. So there's a lot of flavor from those stewed tomatoes going in here. I'm not going to add any salt at all because I think there's going to be enough, and I can test that later and adjust it. And this is not a quart jar. I get this all the time in the comments. People saying, oh, you added a quart. It's not a quart jar. It is a 500 milliliter jar, which is roughly 2 American cups. And actually, by the time you take the head space and all of that thing, it's a little less than 2 American cups, which is not a quart. So I'm going to stir this together, bring it up to a simmer. Once it reaches a simmer, I'm going to turn it down sort of medium-low, and I'm going to put a lid on it and let it go until the orzo is cooked through and has absorbed most of the liquid.
Hey, Glenn.
Hey, Jules.
Hey, friends. That looks fork-like?
Fork or I think spoon. I'm going to go with spoon.
Okay. I'll follow your lead.
So, this is a wintertime stick to your ribs dinner. A little fresh green onion on top. So this is sausage and orzo.
Ooh.
Some green onion. Let's see.
Yeah, classic comfort food.
Mm-hmm.
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 All the right, just happy feeling.
All the flavors, really good depth of flavor. I used our home stewed tomatoes. So use a really flavorful tomato. And as I was making this, there's so many variations you could do. You change the sausage. So you do Mexican fresh chorizo, and then you switch the spicing. And you could use a chipotle powder. You could use a taco seasoning. Instead of tomatoes, you could put in Rotel with the chorizo. I mean, there's so many different ways that you can play with it. I thought after I had it made, I should have splashed in some white wine to add a little bit of acidity.
Ooh.
Yeah, but I mean, it's pretty easy as long as you get the proportion of the liquid and the orzo kind of right. That's all you need to know. So, a really comforting wintertime dish.
Yeah, I'm in.
We have to finish this before we have any of the cake, though. Eat your supper, or you can't have any cake.
I can do it. I have faith.
Thanks for stopping by. See you again soon.